The next piece is identical to that one, except that it has been rounded down after it's been cut out. So these two pieces are the exact same, except one has been filed down to make this rectangular part round or cylindrical. So we're going to cut out the exact same piece again using the same methods, but at the end we're going to file it. So I'm going to transfer my measurements. I can use my speed square and bring my measurement straight across and straight across on the other side, and then do my 5/8 line down the center. So I'll do that now. We have to make one of our rectangular ones cylindrical. So a lot of times the students will ask me, which one should I do? Well, it really doesn't matter, to tell the truth, but I always tell them to take the better one and make it cylindrical, because this one takes more work, and if you decide you want to redo one of them over again, you want to do the one that's going to take less time. So if one of them is better than the other, I try and make that one my cylindrical one. So I'm going to make this one into my round one. Not that I can see a difference on these just yet, but it's a little bit fatter across the middle, which means I have more material to work with. So we're going to make this one round. And the trick is that this line right here does not go in at all. It's flat right across here, and it's flat right across here. And oftentimes students will get too excited with their file and they'll file this part down, which creates a divot, and that's what makes it loose. So what I like to do with my project is I put a line across right in the center of this spot. And I want to see that pencil line. I want to see this pencil line when I get done filing. So I'm only going to take this corner out and this corner out. This should be flush when I get done. And same on this side. I want to put a pencil line right in the middle, and I want to see that pencil line when I get done. Same thing right here, and same right here. So now I just want to take the corner out from between these two pencil lines, and so on. So how do I clean that up without damaging the rest of this? Well, there's a couple options. One is you use a chisel and you cut the fibers here first. And I always tell my students, point towards your friend, not towards yourself. This is what's going to lose skin, and this will probably not hit your friend, but always point it towards somebody else. So I'm going to put my thumb against my chisel, and once I have my thumb against my chisel, then I can put it right on that pencil line, and I'm going to put a little indentation right there. And what that has done is it's cut the fibers right across there. So now when I file, it won't tear up any of this material, it'll just tear up this. And I'll do that on the other side too. The alternative, if you don't have a really sharp file, is to get a utility knife. And you can do the same thing with a utility knife. You will put it right on the inside of your pencil line there and cut down and cut those fibers. And by doing that on both sides, now when I take my file and I run it across there, it's only going to tear up the wood on this side because that's been cut right there. Now, not all files are created equal. A rough file like this one is perfect. If you get something that's too fine, you're not going to take off much material at all, and you're going to be here for a couple days trying to file it down and wondering why it's not working. On the other side of it, if you get a file that's too rough or too coarse, it's going to take too much of your material away, and it's going to split the fibers as well. So having a good file that just takes the wood away easily is what you're wanting. Now, if I am very careful, I can go back and forth with my file right here, and I can start to take down the material. The problem is I'm not very careful, and I'm going to slide one of these times and it's going to go past my mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide over to a vise, and I'm going to clamp this in the vise at that height so that my file can't go beyond that point. Now when I rest my file on the side of this vise, it can't eat any of the material that I want to save down there. And I can rest it across these two files, or excuse me, these two sides of the clamp, and not tear up anything I don't want to. Now notice I'm not lifting the file. If I lift the file, I'm going to eat into the material here I want to save. So I'm just doing it in one spot in one corner right now, and I'm just going to use a circular motion to go back and forth and start to clean up this corner. If I just stay in one spot, it's going to eat too much right in the corner and make it flat. I want to make it round, and so I'm going to move it back and forth as I dig it into that piece of material. Now remember, I don't want to go beyond my pencil line right here, and so I'm just going to file between those two as I go back and forth. Once I've done a little bit, I'm going to re-notch this corner, because now that I've cleaned up those fibers on the top, I haven't cut the fibers underneath. So I'm going to use my utility knife or my chisel again and cut down a little deeper right there to cut those fibers as well. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing in the clamp on the other side and file down to this point. And I haven't got down to my pencil lines yet, but I'm well on my way, and I'm going to do the same thing to every corner as I work around there.